Good evening. It is midweek and you are in time for the top bulletin in town. These are our leading stories. Tonight, from ethics champion to alleged COVID-19 millionaire.
The payment from KEMSA, where was it paid? So at First Community Bank, at the period of this payment and everything else, the signatories was who and who?
It was me, Fanis Adingo Nditi, and Mr. Halake Wako.
Former Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission CEO Halake Wako implicated in the KEMSA heist. Also tonight, appointments and reassignments in the executive. David Osiani, Dr. Sarah Ruto among the new Chief Administrative Secretaries. Zach Kinuthia among the reassigned. PS Belio Kipsang moved from Education Ministry. Plus, medics went on strike demanding their rights. Now they've been left homeless. They claim they're eating the bitter fruit of the county's wrongs.
Pesa zinakatwa za NHIF lakini hazipeleki.
Why would we want a situation whereby we employ everybody on permanent and the next thing, there are strikes all over? Strikes
and strife, strike suffering wananchi. And they say Raila Odinga's bullets are over and he should stop aiming for the top seat.
Kati ya sisi watatu tumeinvest in our brother Raila 30 political years. Sasa we ndugu Raila, this is your time now, bwana, to return your hand.
Pressure mounts on Baba to say bye-bye to hopes of becoming president.
NTV Tonight with Smriti Vidyarthi.
Great to have you with us. Joining us in sign language interpretation tonight is Flora Atieno. Now, truth, it's been said, is stranger than fiction. And what could be more theatrical than a former anti-corruption champion being implicated as a puppet master in the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority COVID scam? Yeah, well, we couldn't make this stuff up even if we tried. NTV's Olive Burrows with the ironic turn of events coming through today. It is shocking, unexpected too, and we have all the details for you. Once again, the former anti-corruption champion is being implicated as a puppet master in the KEMSA COVID scam. Here now is Olive Burrows with the details.
I have a feeling that this company is a front for the COVID billionaires who have actually been getting these orders through proxies.
More skeletons came tumbling out of the KEMSA closet on Wednesday when it emerged that Halake Wako, a man previously charged with championing the war on graft as CEO of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, could have benefited from the looting of public resources intended for the fight against the coronavirus. The current university's fund board chairman was on Wednesday named by one of the directors of a company that was irregularly awarded a tender to supply masks worth hundreds of millions of shillings to KEMSA. Zubeida Nyamlondo, a director of Azure Commercial Services, appeared before the Public Investments Committee of the National Assembly for the second time this week on Wednesday and testified that Wako helped the company secure a loan to supply 50,000 boxes of KN95 masks to the Medical Supplies Agency at 690 shillings per mask.
Halake Wako, how did it come in?
Assistance. I went to a few people to ask for the loan, but we weren't able. So that is when Mr. Halake came in.
On Tuesday, it emerged from Nyamlondo's testimony that Azure Commercial Services was awarded the tender under irregular circumstances, as were not required at the very minimum to supply a company profile, a letter of intent, or bid. It also emerged that the company not only did not possess the resources to meet the tender requirements, but all Nyamlondo was required to do was walk into the suspended procurement manager, Charles Juma's office, with samples of the mask and walked out with a tender. A tender she was officially awarded a record 4 days later.
Payment from KEMSA, where was it paid?
First Community.
So at First Community Bank, at the period of this payment and everything else, the signatories was who and who?
It was me, Fanis Adingo Nditi.
And who?
Fanis Adingo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Halake Wako.
Wednesday's events were reminiscent of the testimony given before another committee of the National Assembly 4 years ago, when it looked into a similar case of the irregular award of tenders at another government agency, the National Youth Service. Then, hairdresser Josephine Kafura, as Nyamlondo did on Wednesday, presented herself as a pawn in the machinations of the corrupt and powerful.
Because you cannot just walk into an office without a letter, without a request, and then you are given within 4 days you are given a commitment letter worth 347 million, and you have never supplied any government company, and in fact you are pre-qualified to supply office furniture and fittings.
And the similarities between the two investigations do not end there. Wako was also adversely mentioned in the NYS case, accused in court filings by a disgruntled former employee of the EACC of receiving 300 million shillings in a bribe to interfere with investigations.
Certainly a story that we will be keeping a close eye on, and we'll bring you all the details as it develops. Well, meanwhile, Water Cabinet Secretary Cicely Kariuki is set to be summoned by the Public Accounts Committee to answer to questions of misappropriation of resources during her time at the Ministry of Public Service and Youth Affairs. The hiring of the 7.7 million shilling helicopter, flagged by an Auditor General report, will be among the expenses interrogated. Now, the committee wondered how the NYS did not have records of the senior government official who spent over 7 million shillings of taxpayers' money to hire a helicopter under the National Youth Service to transport them from the Wilson Airport to the Windsor Country Club. After piling pressure on the NYS Director General Matilda Sakwa to produce receipts, Sakwa said photocopies would be made and presented to the committee by the end of today. The committee is set to meet on Monday to discuss the evidence produced.
Let's be very honest. Who is this passenger who's being hidden?
I don't know.
We can get that name ourselves.
But are you therefore...
But you know, if I'm the one who paid for the service of that helicopter,
yeah.
If I'm the one who paid, is it possible that I don't know the passenger? Is it possible?
Under the Act, there are very stringent, very tough sanctions against public officers who deliberately decline to offer, provide information that a committee of parliament may request or may demand.
All right, politics now, and NASA principals Moses Wetangula, Musalia Mudavadi and Kalonzo Musyoka have asked ODM leader Raila Odinga to shelve his presidential ambitions and make room for one of them. The leaders have also insisted that their newly formed union, that now includes Baringo Senator Gideon Moi, is a force to reckon with, and that it will be the tool they will use to ascend to power in 2022. Zakis Mwasame reports. All right, Zakis will be bringing us that story shortly in this broadcast. Well, still on Raila Odinga, and the ODM leader has opposed a move by the National Assembly's Committee on Security to criminalize the use of the hustler versus dynasty narrative as a political slogan by a section of leaders associated with Deputy President William Ruto. Through a statement to the press, Odinga says, quote, "As a country, we fought for. We should respect free speech and association. We should be able to allow Deputy President and his team to continue with their chosen slogan without any inhibitions. Those of us who see its danger should continue educating our people against falling for it, end quote. But Odinga warns the hustler versus dynasties is a dangerous slogan and equated it to the Nazism ideology that profiled German society on the lines of race, social classes and tribe in the 1930s. He further says, quote, "It is scary in its similarity to Adolf Hitler's National Socialism. It had the Aryan race, which it considered the master race, and whose survival Hitler pegged on the elimination of Jews, Romanists and other, quote, inferior subhumans who were seen to be the problem in Germany," end quote. All right, let's take you back to that story by Zacchaeus Masamin now, where NASA principals, that's Moses Wetangula, Musalia Mudavadi, and also Kalonzo Musyoka, have asked ODM leader Raila Odinga to shelve his presidential ambitions and make way for one of them. Listen in.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, ANC's Musalia Mudavadi, and Ford Kenya leader Moses Wetangula have today spoken more clearly and boldly, telling Raila Odinga it is now his turn to support someone else for the top seat.
Kati ya sisi watatu tumeinvest in our brother Raila 30 political years. Sasa we ndugu Raila, this is your time now bwana, to return your hand. A good turn deserves another. Scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Na mtu wa Tangatanga anakuja anasema wapewe free shares. Mimi nataka niwaambie ndugu na dada, hawa viongozi ambao wako hapa ni wazalendo na wanasimamia mambo mazuri kwa watu wa Kenya.
Nilisikia ndugu yangu Tinga akisema mimi niko na mshahara mmoja. Sasa kama alisema iko na mshahara mmoja, nikiangalia Kalonzo ako na mishahara mingi, nikiangalia Weta mishahara iko, nikiangalia Gidi mishahara, nikiangalia Mudavadi mingi. Kwa hivyo tunasema ni vizuri Tinga asapoti mmoja wetu, ama namna gani?
The leaders say the coalition that also includes Senator Gideon Moi will soon shape the politics of the country and is still open to like-minded leaders.
Ndio safari ya mabadiliko. It's a unity in purpose. Si hivi ati kuchezea mchezo.
Wakenya wamechoka na siasa ya chuki, wamechoka na siasa ya ukabila, wamechoka na siasa ya ufisadi.
The four leaders insist that the unity vessel has left the port and that nothing will come their way until they occupy the house on top of the hill. Zacchaeus Masame, NTV, Matungu, the county of Kakamega.
All right, let's shift focus to education matters now. And students of the Moi Girls High School in Eldoret are spending the night at home after their institution was closed indefinitely. This as a result of a protest by students who are unhappy with their principal. Although they did not resort to destroying property, they will not be going back to school until the issues in their protest note are addressed. Lois Wangoi has those details.
Moi Girls Eldoret High School students are a very uneasy lot. Reason? They are sick and tired of the principal's style of leadership. Education officials from the county and the principal, Christine Chumba, were forced into a crisis meeting. Ministry officials decided to close the school indefinitely as they resolve what was cited by the students as harassment and unreasonable punishment by the school principal.
For us to be able to address all your issues, we need to give you a break. So all the girls in the school from 1 to Form 4 will be requested to vacate this.
I promised you that I was going to listen to you. I've listened to you. You've been very articulate. I think all your points are valid.
The girls had prepared a 20-point document listing their problems. They claim that most recently, the principal slapped one of the school's cooks in public, and that is what resulted in this standoff.
Don't hide the junk in your life. Throw it away. Mrs. Chuma is not something we want in our life. We have to get rid of her.
Our old security team, those old men who walked around with bows and arrows at night for our security, where are they? They are not around at the school. We want that security team back, and they are given proper jobs, because those old men have families. They have risked their life for more than 10 years to protect us. But no, in 2021, this is when she decided we're going to have a new security team. Catch! It is about time.
They have resolved not to step back into class until the Ministry of Education looks into the conduct of their principal. They are also demanding a better equipped library and laboratories. Classes may be closed, but at least they are not burnt down, as has been the case from arson attacks in different parts of the country. In their closing remarks, the girls tasked the education officials present in that meeting to encourage school heads to embrace dialogue and open communication forums, these to ease the restlessness in schools. Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of Uasin Gishu.
Another story we'll be keeping close tabs on. Now, the wage bill has been a pain point for the country, and more so in these tough economic times, when the country is officially in recession, with the hit of the pandemic making it no better. But it has gone up this evening on the order of the President, who has appointed 8 chief administrative secretaries and reshuffled other CASs and principal secretaries. Now, some of those major changes are in the education docket, and on your screen there you have it, are some of those changes. Right, elsewhere now, and Christians around the globe are today marking Ash Wednesday. That is the beginning of the annual 40-day Lent season, signified by the application of ash on their foreheads. And Pope Francis led the world's 1.3 billion Roman Catholics into Lent as he scaled back a centuries-old ritual to help stem the spread of the coronavirus. Rose Wangoi has more.
Thousands of Christians thronged churches countrywide for Ash Wednesday, which marks the beginning of the Lent period. In the CBD, worshippers gathered at the Holy Family Basilica, where John Cardinal Njue presided over the main Mass.
During this particular period, then, to give us that strength to really pray and pray meaningfully, let us ask the Lord to give us that period that we can live concretely our call to repentance and become the manifestation of His closeness to those that are in need, to those that are suffering.
In Kikuyu, several worshippers gathered at St. Joseph Kerwa Church to mark the beginning of the Lent period. Characteristically, during Mass, priests administer ashes on the forehead of the faithful by making a sign of the cross, symbolizing penance and contrition. In Murang'a County, Bishop Wainaina led Catholic faithful at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Cathedral in marking Ash Wednesday. Congregants were urged to use the Lenten season as a self-examination period. The ashes, made from the blessed palms used on the Palm Sunday celebration of the previous year, are a reminder that God is gracious and merciful to those who call on Him with repentant hearts. St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican was not exempt from the new norms owing to the COVID-19 pandemic, as Pope Francis celebrated Mass for Ash Wednesday with a reduced attendance. In his homily, the Holy Father reflected on Lent as a journey of return to God and as an opportunity to deepen the love for brothers and sisters. Ash Wednesday is observed across the world by Catholics, Anglicans, Methodists, Presbyterians to mark the beginning of the 40 days of Lent. During this period, Christians are expected to practice more self-sacrifice and abstinence, fasting, prayer, penance, and to give alms. Fasting for the 40 days ends with the culmination of Easter. Rozongoi, NTV.
And from that, we take a quick break on NTV tonight. As always, there's more coming up. Stay right where you are.
All the days and the nights, reading for them and to them. You don't stop, and neither do we. Help build a strong foundation for your growing child with Nestle Nunkid. Nestle Nunkid 4. Our best for you.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
Cusco Housing Cooperative offers end-to-end integrated property solution to individual and corporate members. We offer loans for plot buying, house construction, house purchase, house completion, among others. To benefit, join and save towards your dream home 5 times your savings with no guarantors and repayment period of 15 years. For inquiries, call us on 0722 701 694 or 0727 570 121. Cusco Housing Cooperative, your property solution partner.
Here we are, living in the moment, and here we are, dreaming in the open. Now look around, isn't this a new day? Make a move, doing things a new way, a new way. 'Cause this is our world, and this is our time. These are our plans, we're gonna let them shine. This is our place in the human race, and we won't stop dreaming. No, we won't stop dreaming.
Build your tomorrow today. Tononoka Group, at the core of every construction.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
This looks different.
It is. See for yourself.
Okay, so it's a photo.
Look closer. Photos within photos.
What about video?
8K video. Beyond cinema quality.
So...
You can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
is family. Family is a solid foundation to build on and a strong pillar to lean on. It is believing in each one of us for the betterment of all of us. Family is working together today to win together tomorrow. It is creating opportunities for a lifetime of happiness. It is knowing we are valued, respected, understood, and most of all, supported. The future is bright because you can always bank on family. Family Bank, with you for life.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Karibuni sana Lotto. This is the money hour. Jina langu ni Beverly Nita. Kumbuka unachezea jackpot ya 25 million Kenya shillings.
Jina langu ni Mike Makori. Hapa kukukumbusha 25 million Kenya shillings could be yours if you match your 6 lucky numbers to enter the mega jackpot draw.
All you have to do is play any amount from 50 shillings to 1,000 Kenya shillings, known as a jishindia, yani ile juu jackpot ya 25 million Kenya shillings.
Kumbuka pia thousands of other cash prizes are up for grabs in the second chance lucky draw. Kucheza ni rahisi.
All you have to do is weke between 50 bob to 1,000 Kenya shillings, pay bill number 77700, alafu tunakuambia
kila laheri.
Fact Finder from the BBC.
Why are there fewer oncologists in Africa, and what's the impact on cancer treatment? We tell you what we found out.
The number is not enough, but of course they are helping to provide a quality cancer treatment to our patients.
This immigration scam goes viral online. We found out how it started and why some people fell for it.
And did an airline fat shame its passengers? We tell you why it stopped them from moving seats.
And protecting public safety or endangering human rights, we look at how facial recognition technology is being used around the world.
Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14k cash voucher for a 500k plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Welcome back. The race for the top seat at the helm of the judiciary has entered a critical stage as 10 candidates have been shortlisted for the position of CJ out of the 13 that had applied. 9 others will also be interviewed for that position of the Supreme Court judge. The interviews scheduled for April will be closely watched, especially by the political class, bearing in mind the ongoing constitutional amendment and with just less than 2 years to the general election. Zainab Ismail reports.
Those shortlisted for the position of Chief Justice include Lady Justice Martha Koome, Justices Nduma Nderi, Said Chitembwe, William Ouko, Marete Njagi, lawyers Philip Murgor and Fred Ngatia. The others include Professor Patricia Gathiru, Dr. Wekesa Moni and Alice Yano. Interestingly, none of the current Supreme Court judges, including Acting Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, applied for the position, keeping off the race. The Judicial Service Commission has also shortlisted 9 individuals for the position of Supreme Court judge, most of whom are also eyeing the position of Chief Justice. According to Section 166 of the Constitution, besides possessing a law degree from a recognized university and being an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, a CJ must have at least 15 years' experience as a Superior Court judge or must have been a distinguished academic, judicial officer, or legal practitioner for at least the same period. The vetting process has piqued a special interest, coming less than 2 years before the next general election and months before the anticipated constitutional referendum as proposed by the Building Bridges Initiative Task Force. Vital in the process will also be the Supreme Court judge who will sit on the bench, which is key in determining presidential petitions. The next step for the JSC after a successful interview at the end of April will be to recommend a candidate for appointment by the President, subject to approval by the National Assembly, as provided for under Article 166 of the Constitution. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
Well, still at the courts, a father has been arrested and arraigned in court for allegedly defiling his 10-year-old daughter in Mombasa County. According to court documents, the incident took place on the 23rd of May 2020. The 10-year-old girl had been watching TV at neighbor Peter Mutembi's house. It was then that Peter allegedly molested her. She then went on to tell her father, Hussein Kibao, about the incident later that day, only to allegedly be molested by him as well. A female neighbor got wind of the incident when she noticed the girl walking awkwardly. The two men, following their arrest, are to be charged in a Mombasa court separately for defiling a minor. They both denied the charges and were released on a cash bail of 200,000 shillings. Both their cases are set to be heard on the 21st of March this year. Now, Acting Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu has proposed the full reopening of courts as one of the measures to reduce huge judicial backlogs and to ensure justice is served without delay. Speaking during the annual Judges Conference in Mombasa, Mwilu said there is a need to adjust to the new normal and enforce rapid response strategies to ensure Kenyans access to justice becomes a reality. Many Kenyans have been unable to access justice through virtual court proceedings due to poor internet coverage. She has vowed to visit courts to ensure that judges perform accordingly.
The Office of the Chief Registrar is currently developing a business continuity and disaster recovery plan to ensure that the institution is better prepared to deal with such severe situations as pandemics and other calamities. I shall come to those courts to ensure that what Nairobi thinks is being done in the courts across the country is being done.
All right, it is 1/2 the hour. We've got to take another break. Dan Wangi is up next. He's got the Days of Business News lined up for you. Stay with us.
Welcome to our new office. Wonderful sight. Just imagine 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where the parking is, and then the warehouse front door here, the reception here, and the fridges here. The lorry's entrance there, and their exit there. One way only. What is it?
So where is the building?
Fast, stress-free construction. Get your factory-made buildings in 10 weeks with SAFBuild. Order yours now. SAFBuild, a quality building solution from MRM.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Makeup is a passion for me. I love beauty. Nililearn skill ya makeup na watch tutorials kama YouTube na Instagram. Alafu nikaanza practice na mabeshte wangu, and with time I would take pictures of them and the page would grow. Now people started DMing me and asking me how much do I charge. So that's how I started my business. That's where I get most of my clients, like 70%. Mi hutumia 1 GB giga bundles ya mobile data statement imenichanua kujua vile kila app inatumia bundles zangu. So now I'm able to channel my bundles on the apps I need the most.
Dial *544# and select 8 for bundle management to get your data statement, and you'll get free 200 MBs for first-time access.
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Kiungulia na kuvimbiwa? Ino inatibu ndani ya sekunde 6 na inatuliza dalili 6 za kiungulia. Kwa hivyo unaweza kuburudika bila kikomo. Ino, tibu haraka kiungulia na tumbo kuvimba.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Ah, Helen Paul.
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I've been using it for years.
Oh, madam, the regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains removal. Harpic's thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow, now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Fast just got faster. Get fully locked on Airtel 4G. Now wider coverage to download, stream and browse at high speed. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Good evening and welcome to NTV Business. My name is Dan Mwangi. Now, a number of projects slated for execution under the Public-Private Partnership or Public-Private Partnership, yes, that's it, Directorate, have been held up in the bureaucratic grind mill for more than 4 years, NTV can now reveal. That revelation comes from the Director General of the PPP Department at the National Treasury. Now, on this story, we are going to be having, that is Christopher Karigwa, who was appointed to the helm last month. Alex Mwangi reports on the hurdles that have been slowing the effectiveness of the PPP unit.
The Public-Private Partnership Unit was established under Section 8 of the PPP Act 2013 to serve as the secretariat and technical arm of the PPP Committee, which is mandated with assessing and approving PPP projects in the country. 8 years down the line,
a number of those projects have been hanging for the last 4 years plus. And the reason purely was the bureaucracy and also the existing law that was in place. One of the biggest challenges that the country faced was the framework and the existing laws which were created were very complex, which made it very difficult for private sector.
When you look through the current PPP Act of 2013, it does not speak to timelines. It was very open and flexible with regards to how the procurement process, how a concept note would be done, how long it would get to feasibility. It did not have the timelines that would really police the line ministries and also, in fairness, the PPP Directorate with regards to how projects can get out of the door.
Kirigwa says an amendment bill to tie the loopholes that have made the law ineffective through the years is set to be presented to the cabinet before the end of this week. It will also need approval from Parliament in order to become law. The reasons for the ineffectiveness of the PPP unit thus far were laid bare.
The approval process on a PPP project typically took approximately, there were 12 approval stages. And each stage could last up to, some of them could last a year, some could take 6 months. We've narrowed that down to 3.
When you have around 80 or so projects within the national PPP pipeline and a PPP unit, at the time now it's a director, a PPP unit made up of 5 or 6 staff, there is an asymmetry with regards to how much focus can be done on that, how much championing and how much really pushing of the business can happen.
The industry captains spoke during an economic forum organized by NCBA Bank discussing the prospects for the economy in 2021. NCBA projects the economy will grow by 4.9% this year. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
The government is being urged to step in and resuscitate collapsing subsectors in agriculture as frustrated farmers are left with no options but to choose between poorly performing crops in an effort to prop their revenues. Victor Kiprop now paints a picture of how frustrated sugarcane farmers in Bungoma are now trying their hand at coffee despite its equally subdued performance.
For many farmers in Kenya's western region, sugarcane is the only source of livelihood they have known all their lives. But in recent years, the sweet sugarcane has started to leave a bitter taste of low returns in their mouths, as the collapse of sugar factories in the region left them with no market for their produce. Maize, the only other alternative, is not doing any better, forcing some farmers to seek refuge in coffee, whose prices in the global market have been on a general rise from an average of 258 shillings in October last year to 282 shillings in January this year, marking an increase of 9.3%.
Kabla nianze kupanda kahawa nilikuwa mkulima wa mahindi na miwa, lakini haijanisaidia sana kusomesha watoto ama katika maisha ya maendeleo. Nimekuwa chini sana, lakini wakati nimepata kahawa naona ya kwamba niko napatilika ama napata mapatiliko.
Hii ni sababu ya wakulima kuwa desperate. Unajua wakiona kama hii mmea haiwezi kutoa mapato mazuri, kile inafanyika ni kwamba wakulima wanakimbilia kitu kingine.
In the eastern region counties of Tharaka Nithi and Machakos, the story is similar, as some farmers abandon horticulture and other crops in favor of dairy farming, which they say is lucrative and less risky.
At our place, we are selling that shillings per liter or per kilo. And if a cow can produce 50 kg, then you keep around 5 animals. When you go and sell that one, you don't get money every day. Not like other crops. Other crops you keep for 3 you wait at least for 3 months. Then after selling, that is the end.
In farming, just like in any other business, it's all about the returns. Victor Kiprop, NTV Business.
Contractors undertaking the construction of Mwache Bridge in Mombasa County have come under the spotlight for importation of materials which the government says could have been sourced locally. This concern was raised by the chairman of the National Development, Implementation and Communication Cabinet Committee, CS Fred Matiang'i, while conducting an inspection tour of the project. Matiang'i indicated that the bridge will be complete by 2023 and that the government will allocate more resources to ensure its speedy completion.
Of course, the objective is to ensure that we are getting value for money and that we are keeping with the deadlines in the delivery of these projects.
Before we close, let's take a look at what you can expect on the Business Daily tomorrow. And first and foremost on the lead story, which is going to be on your screen in just a bit. We have 3 stocks making NSE investors wealthy. So you'll be able to read about which stocks these are, which companies are trading and giving investors that kind of wealth. We also see, a season of fast and prayer. That's the Lent season as we head towards Easter. And we have a story on Badi. Some of the promises that Major General Badi is giving to the residents of Nairobi County. Business is done, so am I. But Smriti is not. She'll be back.
Kijani Ridge is Tatu City's premier neighborhood, offering a 1.25 acre fully serviced plot in a controlled development. The plots overlook a beautiful dam with natural green spaces. Kijani Ridge is a walking distance from Nova Pioneer and Crawford International Schools. Families are already moved in and more homes are under construction. Contact us for daily site visits and join us for our mega open weekend on 6th and 7th March.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongeze zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali. Tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Ndio nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444 hash utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
The Ministry of Health would like to remind all Kenyans that coronavirus is still among us and that we must continue to adhere to all preventative measures to contain the spread of this deadly disease, including proper wearing of face masks.
Avoid wearing your mask under your nose, under your chin, because this doesn't protect you. The droplets can still land in the environment and things can still land on your nose and mouth.
Komesha Corona. Okoa Maisha.
Mhasibu Sacco Society Limited is a reputable Tier 1 Sacco for all professionals. We pride ourselves in business stability and growth, having been in existence for the last 35 years with an asset base of over 6 billion shillings and over 18,000 members spread across the world. All professionals should join us to benefit from competitive products, high qualifying credit, attractive returns, and services automation. Join us and attain your financial independence. Mhasibu Sacco, the Sacco for professionals.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Karibuni sana Lotto. This is the money hour. Jina langu ni Beverly Nita. Kumbuka unachezea jackpot ya 25 million Kenya shillings.
Jina langu ni Mike Makori. Hapa kukukumbusha 25 million Kenya shillings could be yours if you match your 6 lucky numbers to enter the mega jackpot draw.
All you have to do is play any amount from 50 shillings to 1,000 Kenya shillings, known as a jishindia, yani ile juu jackpot ya 25 million Kenya shillings.
Kumbuka pia thousands of other cash prizes are up for grabs in the second chance lucky draw. Kucheza ni rahisi.
All you have to do is weke between 50 bob to 1,000 Kenya shillings, pay bill number 77700, alafu tunakuambia
kila laheri.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Maalim Seif Sharif Hamad, the first vice president of Zanzibar, has died. Zanzibar's President Hussein Ali Mwinyi announced his deputy's demise on state television earlier, with Tanzanian President Pombe Magufuli joining the nation in mourning a career politician. Local media reports say the late Hamad passed on while undergoing treatment. The late VP had, on the day of his admission, announced that he had come down with a fever due to COVID-19 and his family was in isolation.
At noon today, Zanzibar's President Hussein Ali Mwinyi called his nation to attention to announce the death of his first Vice President, Seif Sharif Hamad.
Maalim amefariki wakati akiendelea na matibabu katika hospitali ya Muhimbili ambako alikuwa amelazwa tokea tarehe 9 Februari mwaka huu.
While President Hussein Mwinyi made the announcement without revealing the cause of death, it is public knowledge that his party ACT Wazalendo had announced last month that the late Hamad, his wife and other family members were hospitalized after testing positive for the coronavirus. In a tweet on January 31st, the late Hamad thanked all who had been there for him during his illness, while also asking people to be cautious about getting infected.
Kwa hakika, taifa limepoteza kiongozi mzalendo na shupavu.
Tanzania's President John Magufuli expressed sadness over the death of the first Vice President of Zanzibar. Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta, in his condolence message, termed the late Saif Hamad as a veteran politician who was popular, wise and a progressive leader.
Natangaza siku 7 za maombolezo ambapo bendera zitapepea nusu mlingoti.
He was the chairman of the main opposition Alliance for Change and Transparency ACT Wazalendo in the Tanzanian archipelago, which joined the ruling Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM to form a government of national unity after the 2020 October elections. He had only served for 4 months after fighting for years to get into leadership. Since 1995, the popular opposition leader ran for president of the islands in 6 consecutive elections and lost to ruling party candidates. Maalim Sharif Hamad died at the age of 77. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Well, may he rest in peace. And a reminder, that is, that COVID is indeed real. 144 more people have tested positive here in Kenya, and that raises the national caseload to 103,332 in the last 24 hours, and also 4 more people succumbed to the virus, and the death toll has now risen to 1,801. Please do wear your masks properly over your mouth and nose, sanitize and wash your hands and keep distance. All right, let's take you to Uganda now, where military police beat up a number of journalists, with some having been hospitalized as they covered former presidential candidate Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, that is Bobby Wine, as he led a team to deliver a petition to the office of the UN Human Rights in Kololo, Kampala. Ironically, the journalists were battered and their rights abused right outside the UN office, where Bobby Wine was petitioning against human rights abuses. Let's take you to that story now.
It all began here at the offices of the National Unity Platform Party in Kamocha, Kampala, as the NUP leader Robert Chagulanyi addressed the media before heading to the offices of the UN Human Rights Council in Kololo. He was to deliver a petition condemning human rights abuses against his supporters by security agencies.
This morning, I got a call that one of our comrades, who was our polling agent in Rakai, Ewan Sendazi Paul, was abducted by plainclothes people. Only one of them, there were 3. 2 were in plain clothes but having AK-47 guns, and 1 was putting on military uniform. They took him away.
Later, Chagulanyi drove to the UN offices, where he was allowed to enter with only 3 people. However, as soon as the gate was closed behind the team, military police officers descended upon journalists and beat them up. Some of the journalists who suffered the wrath of the military police are John Cliff Wamala, Jeff Twesige and Irene Abalo of the Nation Media Group, Josephine Namakumbi of NBS TV, Henry Sekanjako and Timothy Mulunji of Vision Group.
John Cliff.
Cliff Wamala was rushed to a clinic where he received stitches to the head.
We were waiting for the people who had been allowed to go in to come back and tell us what had happened, maybe whether their petition was taken in, and maybe what they've agreed upon with the UN officials. So we started interviewing some few party officials who had also been blocked, the MPs elect, and just before we could even finish the interview, from where we had been told to stand as journalists. So this military patrol came, and from the direction of the UN officers, and before even it could stop, the men in uniform jumped off the patrol, and their commander was stood at the front seat, the co-driver's seat. Is the one who came straight to my head, because they have hit almost every journalist.
They were just beating everybody. As long as you're not in a military police uniform or the police uniform, you are being beaten. Now I entered, I ran, and I felt I was tired. I could no longer continue running. I caught up with the NTV car, and I told the driver, please stop, it is me. Let me enter, I can't run anymore. The driver slowed down, I jumped in the car as the car was moving, but this military policewoman targeted me and still continued to beat me as I tried to close the door to the car.
During the presidential campaigns, a number of journalists covering the NUP presidential candidate Chagulanyi were beaten and injured, and they included NTV's Ali Mivule. Ashraf Kasiri of Ghetto TV suffered serious injuries when he was hit by an object believed to be a tear gas canister. After previous beatings of journalists, the police and the army pledged to investigate the actions of the errant officers, but no report has been made public to date.
Absolutely shameful behavior on the part of the military. May justice be served, and get well soon to all those journalists affected. All right, we take a quick break. Next up, it's the sports news. Do stay with us.
Family is working together today. It is creating opportunities for a lifetime of happiness. The future is bright because you can always bank on family. Family Bank, with you for life.
Mix of the Week in association with Airtel.
I don't charge my energy. For the journey, for the journey. For the journey. Bossy, bossy.
Fast just got faster. Get fully locked on Airtel 4G. Now wider coverage to download, stream and browse at high speed. Airtel, the smartphone network.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa. Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi, guy, what the?
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
Gauge 28 at 670 Kenya shillings. Gauge 30 at 370. Gauge 30 Med at 530. Royal Alu Zinc at 280 Kenya shillings. Call us today on 0722 638383. Royal Mabati Factory Limited. We are the best.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
That is just for me. It really feels very comfy.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
Mix of the Week in association with Airtel.
I don't charge my energy.
For the journey, for the journey. Without God, for the journey.
Bossy, bossy.
Fast just got faster. Get fully locked on Airtel 4G. Now wider coverage to download, stream and browse at high speed. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Place your order and enjoy free delivery. Reach us on 0723 999981 or 0724 114411 or the details on your screen. Boma Mabati. Mabati ya kila boma.
Fact Finder from the BBC.
Why are there fewer oncologists in Africa and what's the impact on cancer treatment? We tell you what we found out.
The number is not enough, but of course they are helping to provide a quality cancer treatment to our patients.
This immigration scam goes viral online. We found out how it started and why some people fell for it.
And did an airline fat shame its passengers? We tell you why it stopped them from moving seats.
And protecting public safety or endangering human rights, we'll look at how facial recognition technology is being used around the world.
Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14k cash voucher for a 500k plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Welcome to NTV Sport. I'm Watson Karuma. Now, the national basketball team, that's the Morans, needs just one win in the final round to qualify for the FIBA AfroBasket for the first time in 28 years. The last time Morans played at the Continental Festival was back in 1993 when they finished fourth as hosts. The Kenyan side is currently in Cameroon preparing for Friday's tip-off that will see them take on African giants Senegal. If you can get the pictures, those are pictures from Cameroon when they where they had a training session earlier today. Now Kenya is in Group B that also includes Angola and Mozambique. The Moran side is under new leadership with head coach Liz Mills taking the squad under her wing. Kenya are placed third in their group behind leaders and favourite Senegal and second placed Angola. Mozambique are placed last. Now the AfroBasket competition kicked off earlier today and Nigeria managed to beat South Sudan 75-70. Wishing the team all the best in Cameroon. This year's Sports Personality of the Year awards, that is SOYA, will consist of 6 award categories, unlike previous editions, which involved 18. The 6 categories are Outstanding Sportsman and Woman, Resilience category, Hall of Fame, Community Hero, and Innovation category. This year's ceremony is slated for Saturday in Naivasha, Nakuru County, with over 200 athletes expected to attend due to prevailing conditions brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. This year's event will seek to celebrate sportsmen and women as well as organize a symposium for the athletes.
Many young people, as much as they retire, they are competing so hard now, and when they retire, because they are never empowered well enough. After serving the sport, after serving the nation for so many years, and I believe this is what we want us to see to that we, every now and then, we are engaging our young people, our sportsmen.
Now, Tusker FC look to extend their lead atop the Football Kenya Federation Premier League standings when they take on Posta Rangers tomorrow. The Brewers are on a 10-game unbeaten run that includes draws with their last loss back in November last year. They are currently top with 26 points from 11 games, 1 point above second place KCB, who have a game in hand. Posta Rangers are placed 14th with 10 points from 11 matches, averaging less than a point per game. In the day's other game, Kariobangi Sharks hope to leap into third place when they clash with Vihiga United. Kylian Mbappe scored a stunning hat-trick as PSG ripped Barcelona apart 4-1 in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League last 16 tie at the Nou Camp. The night did not start well for last year's runners-up when they fell behind to Lionel Messi's 27th minute penalty. Now, the six-time Ballon d'Or winner was then upstaged on his own turf by World Cup winner Mbappe as PSG ruthlessly exposed the hosts. The French player equalized in the 32nd minute before a double in the second half as Moise Kean put it beyond doubt for an incredible away win. The second leg takes place on the 20th of March in Paris, by which time PSG hope to have Neymar back from thigh injury to face his former side. In the other game last night, Liverpool saw off RB Leipzig 2-0 away to set up advantage going into the second leg. Tonight sees Cristiano face his beloved boyhood club, that is FC Porto, as Juventus travel to Portugal and Sevilla host Borussia Dortmund.
Magnificent. It's his night. It's PSG's night.
Now, Champions League might have taken the spotlight, but there's still some English Premier League action tonight, with Manchester City hoping to extend their lead when they travel to Liverpool to face Everton. Now, Guardiola's men are 7 points clear of neighbours Manchester United with a game in hand, having put together a record-breaking 16-match winning streak in all competitions. Carlo Ancelotti will be eager to have top scorer Dominic Calvert-Lewin back after a toothless display in the shock home defeat to relegation battling Fulham. This fixture was initially scheduled to last December, before a COVID-19 outbreak ravaged City's squad. In the night's other game, Burnley take on Fulham, and that game is currently underway, and after 47 minutes the match is still at 0-0. And that does it for NTV Sport. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely night.
All right, Watson, thanks for the sports news. Of course, more coming your way tomorrow. Well, that's all we've got time for. Thanks for your company. Flora Atieno has been our sign language interpreter. I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. I will see you again tomorrow night.